Ms. Angel, as if an 18-year-old asks you tomorrow whether they should take a $30,000 student debt, pursue traditional higher education, or enter the apprenticeship, where they're earning a paycheck on day one, what factors would you tell them to consider?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's funny you ask. I have an 18-year-old daughter who just graduated high school. We've had these conversations over the last year between her boyfriend, her friends. Every time we've had the discussion, they've chosen different paths based on the factors in which we discussed. What kind of work do you enjoy? Do you like working with your hands, analyzing, writing, researching? What kind of career do you want? What do you want your day-to-day look like? Not what degree do you want, what area do you want to study? What do you want to look forward to in the future? What do you want to expect on a day-to-day? Of course there's financial implications, and they need to discover that and determine whether or not that's the right path for them. But I also encourage them to think about, how do they learn best? Are they somebody that is a hands-on, real-world learner? Are they somebody that enjoys classroom instruction? What is the demand for their career? Are employers hiring? Are there a shortage of workers in that field? What are the growth opportunities, right? At the end of the day, I always tell that I told my daughter and all of her friends, don't choose college or a trade because of prestige or what you think you know. Choose the best path that aligns with your interests, your strengths, your financial goals, your desired lifestyle. A skilled trades apprenticeship can lead to a very highly successful career. College can also be an excellent investment. The mistake is when you choose a plan without knowing what you want.
Thank you. Ms. Ross, for years we've heard employers say we need skills. We've heard universities say we provide degrees. Your model seems to suggest that it doesn't have to be separate things. Are we headed toward a future where work experience itself becomes a primary source of academic credit? And if so, what still needs to be done to recognize and realize that future?
Well, it is indeed a both-and proposition. As Undersecretary Nicholas Kent recently put it, yes, credit for work.
Mike?
I was the one who didn't turn on my microphone. I knew it would be me. So as I was saying, it is a both-and proposition. And as Undersecretary Nicholas Kent recently put it, credit for work looks like converting paid mentored work experience into recognized academic progress. And that enables learners to get relevant on-the-job experience from day one. Credit for work is also rigorous because the workplace is where learners can put theories to the test, connect theory with practice, they can demonstrate their skills, they can apply their skills. It's where they can engage in sense-making. And it's important because it means that working adults don't have to choose between the paycheck they need now and the degree or the credential that could get them ahead. What's going to make it more of a reality? I think that as we see new models emerge, we're going to need to see the accreditors embrace alternative ways of obtaining true academic credit that still keeps higher education higher but is relevant to near-term job skills as well as long-term human flourishing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ms. Sherwood, you've worked in education workforce development for much of your career. What's the biggest misconception parents and students still have about careers in the skilled trades?
That's a great question.
No, I'm sorry, it was Ms. Sherwood. Ms. Sherwood, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you, Congressman. I think there's several misconceptions, but perhaps the biggest is that apprenticeship is only for those who can't get into college. As a former teacher and principal, and I often joke I'm a college for all addict recovering, I didn't really understand apprenticeship. And looking back, that makes me sad because I realized sometimes I didn't give all the opportunities. I think we have to look at apprenticeship to be celebrated just as enthusiastically as those going to college. I have 4 kids, 2 in college, and we posted that all over social media. When my third, who wants to go into apprenticeship, makes that decision, I want to post that and have the exact same celebration and the number of likes that pop up. I think there's also a few other ones that apprenticeship is only for skilled trades. As we're discussing today, that's not the case. We're going into healthcare and IT and education. I think there's also the misconception that apprenticeship is a quick fix. It's hard work, it takes involvement, it takes investment, and it's not a shortcut. And I think the other one and last is apprenticeship is not the end of learning. It's really the beginning. IEC focuses on the continued education after that, and apprenticeship gets to the journeyman, but at that point they have so many opportunities, whether it's into estimating or project managing. They want to be a BIM specialist or own their own company. I think the biggest misconception there is that it stops, and I think we have to realize that apprenticeship is just the first step in an on-ramp of a great career.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One of the most important questions raised during this hearing wasn't really about college or apprenticeships. It was about how young people should make one of the biggest decisions of their lives at just 18 years old. Representative Burgess Owens framed the discussion around a familiar choice. Should a student take on tens of thousands of dollars in college debt or enter an apprenticeship and start earning a paycheck immediately? That question resonates with millions of American families because higher education has become increasingly expensive, while employers across many industries continue to report shortages of skilled workers. What made this exchange interesting is that the witnesses largely refused to accept the idea that this has to be an either-or decision. Instead, they argued that the better question is not, which path is better, but which path fits the individual student? That distinction matters because too often America's education debate becomes ideological. Politicians, television commentators, and even social media influencers tend to present education as if there is only one correct answer. In reality, people's talents, ambitions, financial situations, and learning styles vary tremendously.